What happened? You know, today was like that mostly.
No, I get what you mean. If you
Hiya.
Okay, well done. Let's try again. Well done. And your number.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Butterfingers.
It's alright. And then if
That's
you can
great.
pop that in the pot.
Thanks a million.
Great.
well, of course, you know. Hang on, better put this away before I forget. No.
What's on there, Matt?
Yeah, 83. Good fun, I enjoyed the way.
Hi, it's Mark again from Sligo Parkrun. I'm here with Stephen. He's, how old are you, Stephen?
I'm 11.
11, cool. And the reason we are talking to you, Stephen, is because someone told me that you are an organiser of the junior parkrun here on a Sunday, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And what do you do when you say organise? Like, what does that involve?
That's like involving setting up the cones and the course for them. That's doing the warm-ups. And it's really helpful because we've got loads of parents that come in and help at the same time. And excuse me, and it's just great community and stuff like that when we're helping out.
Yeah. So, like, what time would you get here in the morning on a Sunday?
On a Sunday morning, we try and get here before about 9:30 for a 10 o'clock start.
All right, 10 o'clock's not so bad. Like this morning's
Yeah.
9 o'clock, so
Yeah,
it's a
I
bit desperate getting down here for 9.
Yeah.
And you run every Saturday as well.
Yeah, run every Saturday and Sundays. Yeah.
Right. And on the Sundays, like when you help out, do you have a specific task or role, or what do you do?
Well, through the week, there's a future roster that we get sent to us via email, and we'll get told what we've been picked for through the week, so then we know in advance what we need to do.
Right. Okay. And what about the bad weather and stuff like that? Do you stand out in the rain and the snow and the wind?
Yeah.
I heard last weekend it was a bit desperate.
It was a bit, a bit.
You get
wet
blown all
and
over the place, did you?
desperate,
And you have plenty of kit to wear anyway.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you get turning up on a Sunday?
The average is about 70 to 80 kids each week.
Yeah, and anything from little whippets like yourself to kids just walking around and buggies and stuff, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's so good about parkrun? Like, what's the deal? Why? Like, there was 300 or 400 people here today, was there?
Yeah, no,
Like, it was massive.
400 plus people today, and it's just like all the people are lovely down here. It's a great community to be in, and you just want to come down here, have a nice run, and it's not a race. It's to do it for fun.
I know. I seen a few people giving it a lash down there. You were giving it a lash too. What did you do?
24 and a half.
24 and a half minutes. Super fast. Yeah, it was more muddy than I expected. Did you come across the mud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go around it or through it?
Through it.
Through it, because you're hardcore, aren't you? And you were telling me before the interview you do a bit of Welsh. Have you any Welsh for us?
Yeah.
Go on. So, like, we don't know any different because we're from Ireland, right? So like whatever you got, go on.
Bore da, shwd ti, da am diolch a ti. Da am diolch. Shwd mae tawedd heddiw. Mae hi'n haelog.
Yeah. And
So
there was no swearing in that, no? No,
No.
you didn't stitch me up, did you?
Nah.
What did you say there?
It means like, hello, how are you? I'm good, and what's the weather like? Sunny.
Oh, it's sunny, cool. That's the Welsh is it's a nice enough language, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
So look, have you any other have you any advice like this? I got a couple of kids. We have kids turn up to our park run. Have you anything that you'd say to kids who are thinking about it or not sure? Or
Well, if you want to just get up and do some exercise, and it's real close by, just go down there and see what it's like. And if you enjoy it, it's a brilliant community everywhere in parkrun that I've been to, and yeah, you'll enjoy it really well.
Which ones have you been to?
I've been to Newport and Pontypool.
Yeah, and I heard there's one in Cardiff as well.
Yeah, Cardiff started up a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, only a couple of weeks. All right, okay, that's new enough. Yeah, we're only 8 weeks old, so we're kind of new to it too. Nice one. All right. Well, look, thanks very much for talking to us, Stephen, and enjoy your donut, your scone, your Coke, or whatever it is you're going to stuff now. All right. Thanks a million, and good luck with Park Run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Hi, it's Mark here from Sligo Park Run. I'm in Newport. What's your name?
David.
David, thanks for having a few words with us, David. Is this your first time in Newport?
No, I live in Newport, so
cool.
I've done about 110.
110 just here?
Yeah.
Or in total, all park runs?
No, just here.
Just here, 110.
Yeah.
So you've been at that, what, 2.5 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Wow. And what's so good about this one? What's the story?
It's a really good family event. There's a really good atmosphere here.
Yeah.
I originally started coming to look after my grandchildren so that my daughter could run.
All right.
Then the grandchildren decided they wanted to run, so I had to.
Right.
And now they run on a Sunday. We have a junior park run, which I volunteer at. And we run on a Saturday instead with the dogs.
Right. And you have these beautiful dogs. Oh, yeah. And so you volunteer on a Sunday with the junior park run. That's 2K?
That's right, yeah.
Right, okay. They don't run it on the same day?
No, it's easier to do on separate days.
Right,
we
okay.
have, well, last week we didn't have many because the weather was absolutely foul.
Yeah.
But our records were 150 children between 3
Wow.
and 14.
Wow. And how many you get here? Like there's 300-400 or something, is there?
Yes, it's a little bit down today. We get up to 500.
Right.
Our record's just under 500.
500. And was that always the case, or is that just?
No, it's
recently?
built gradually. I mean, except for bad weather,
Right.
it's a little bit higher nearly every week. But we've been running, I think, how many years now? 3.5 years.
3.5 years, yeah. So was it quiet at the start, like 50 or 60, or was it always like 100 plus?
Yeah, I think it was. It was
Right.
a lot smaller at the beginning.
Right. And do you volunteer on the Saturday as well, or just the Sunday? Or?
Usually just a Sunday. I have volunteered on a Saturday, but
When they're
because
desperate,
I'm here every
obviously.
Sunday.
Yeah, if you'd like to do a bit of running.
Yeah.
And with so many people, like I see there's some significant differences between this run and our run in terms of, for example, like at the finish there, you've got several, like 4 barcode scanners, and you, because of the volume of people, I presume you need more volunteers as a whole.
Yeah, I
list.
mean there are a lot of volunteers out, but we don't have any difficulty recruiting them.
Right.
They're people who run regularly.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a military operation now. It's been fine-tuned over the years, and so it runs really smoothly. We very rarely have any problems.
Right. And you don't have any problems with uploading or barcodes not working, scanners or anything like that? No?
No, very rarely.
Yeah.
And because I think the whole parkrun system is so well designed.
Yeah.
Even when there are problems, they seem to be fixed fairly easily.
Fairly quick, yeah. It's just great to see so many people out on a Saturday morning. When you think about it, there's people all over the world doing park run at 9 or 9:30 in the morning. It's just great to see.
Everywhere, South Africa, States.
South Africa's massive, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
thousands of people registered and stuff, yeah.
I think they even have one in Camp Bastion.
Wow, yeah. And on ships and stuff in the
All
I heard
sorts of
that.
places.
And what kind of dog is this?
She's a lurcher, so she's a
Lurcher.
cross between a greyhound and a Saluki.
So she's well able for the running anyway.
Oh yeah, she wants to go off and have a fast run now.
Yeah, she's a proper
But
run.
without me.
Not with the slow old guy.
yeah, you see her when she sees a squirrel.
And do you do much else running? Do you do like longer runs or anything? Or just a
Occasionally
hobby?
do a 10k,
Right.
and recently did the Newport half marathon,
Right.
which I found quite hard.
Yeah. On the road, is it?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah, but I'm a recreational runner, so this is
just for a bit of fun. Any
And
other
then-
exercise or cross training or anything?
I walk with dogs every day, except when we run. So we
Yeah.
sort of run and alternate between running and walking on different days.
Yeah.
So the trouble is, the more fit they are, the more exercise they need.
Yes. You'll have to
So-
feed them up.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thanks a million for taking the time to talk to us. And
that's
I'll
okay.
upload
It's
this
nice to meet you. Nice
yeah,
to have
thanks
you
a
all
million.
again.
Cheers. Hi, it's Mark here from Sligo Parkrun. I'm here with Nick, who's the run director. It's run director for Newport for today.
Yeah.
Nick, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. It's great to I was on the internet. I've been talking to people today, and they say you've been running for nearly 4 years.
Yeah, indeed.
Is that right?
Yeah, our 4th anniversary was about a month ago.
About a month ago,
Yeah,
cool.
so
And
we've
did you do
done
anything special? Or?
Oh yeah. In fact, I've got to say, for our 4th anniversary, we had the director of Parkrun down.
Sinton and
Paul didn't come down, but Joanne, his wife, did come down.
Okay.
And the managing director.
Wow.
Tim. No,
Yeah.
Can't remember. Anyway, the managing director came down, and it was fancy dress and cakes. And
great
stuff
crack.
like that.
Nice, yeah. For 4 years. So what have you learnt in 4 years? Give us the list.
I tell you, I think the biggest thing is that we so panicked when we first started.
Right.
We thought it was going to be so complicated and we'd have to look after everybody. What we now know is that people do actually possess a thing called common sense.
Right.
And they know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And they will just get on with it. And if there's and things like an incident that we've not had, we know that if there ever was an incident, we can rely on other park runners to muck in and sort it out and help, and they'll stop and so on like that. So I think what we've learned is to have more faith in human nature.
Right, okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
There's one thing I found today was after talking to people at the finish line, everybody's so happy, and there's old people here, there's young people, there's dogs, what are we talking about, 400 people today, something like that? It's massive amount of people. It's a good one, yeah. It's Easter bank holiday weekend, I suppose a lot of people out on holiday and stuff. So were you here from the beginning, from the very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Chris Davis, our event director, started it or initiated it 4.5 years ago.
Right.
He's now the Parkrun ambassador for Wales.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah.
But there's a core team of probably 4 people who were there right from the start.
Right, okay.
And basically we do all of the race directing for all of the events. I mean, I've done something like 60 or 70, but Howard, who you met a moment ago, has probably done more than that. Basically, he comes down certainly every Saturday that he's not away on holiday. And there's a group of about 4 or 5 people that have that same level of devotion, if you want to.
Yeah, devotion.
It is. Yeah, it's a.
So, here, slurp your coffee there, and I'll talk. I'll talk a bit. And Nick's just like you were just uploading and just beginning to upload the results. So, the one thing when we got a few volunteers, but when you got 400 or 500 people, obviously there's more marshals involved. Yeah. There's more scanners. You need more of everything. Is it like, well? What are the biggest things when it comes to volunteers? Do you have to go looking for them? How do you advertise? Like they just come to you, do they?
Absolutely. Now as you say, a typical race entry or event entry at the moment is about 400 runners, and we have never been short of volunteers. Right. Basically, we've found that people are more than willing to be part of not just the run, but the community. That people know that parkrun is not just about running; it's being part of parkrun and putting on a yellow marshal bib or whatever. And so we just don't have. The more runners we have, the bigger the pool of volunteers, and we get people who come back week after week. There's a good example is a lady by the name of Ruby, who, I don't know, I'm too polite, she's probably in her late 60s or 70s, never run, but I think it's something like her grandson runs.
Okay.
And she helps every other week. What she does is volunteer.
Yeah.
And that's her
parkrun,
her thing for parkrun is volunteering, not running.
And she gets to see the grandkids running at the same time and
exactly,
be part of it.
And so we've never had anything. What does happen, we have a very select group of people who do things like timekeeping. Okay. Because timekeeping with an event of over 400 people, we find there's a few people who will rise to that challenge. But we've got about 6 people that do time.
So do you get nerve-wracking when you get a new volunteer and you put them on something crucial,
No, this goes back to the first thing.
Right.
To have faith in human nature. Yeah. No, we've part of it, I'm going to say, is the parkrun system. means that it's difficult for an event to fail. If
Yeah,
you see it.
yeah.
I don't know whether you noticed. For one thing, we use a video camera.
I saw that at the finish line.
we use
Yeah.
a video
So
camera. So what will happen is, if something happens in our tokens or the
Yeah.
barcoding, we will simply go to the video camera. I'll give you a specific example of
Yeah.
this. One time, 2 years ago or something, on the Friday night, basically I didn't charge our timepiece properly. On the Saturday morning, one of our timekeepers, I remember this well, Maxine,
Yeah.
was doing the timekeeping, and about halfway through the event, the timepiece died, the
No
battery
way.
died, and basically we would have been stuffed,
Yeah.
except we've got a video camera. So all that I did was, afterwards, I simply had a cup of coffee rather
Yeah.
than do the results, took the computer home, replayed the video,
Yeah.
and actually sat at home
Just manually.
retiming the event. So I sat, can you see what I mean? Because we have
Yeah.
a video of the finish.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We can actually just replay it.
And the video, is that
There's
common?
another race director.
Hiya, race director.
There is another-
Run director. How you doing?
Hi.
My name's Mark. What's your name?
Martin.
Martin. Sorry, Martin. We're just recording some audio there.
All right.
I'm over from Sligo in Ireland.
Okay.
And I run director over there, so it's great to get to another event and
Yeah,
see
so
how it works
if
and
you say
everything.
anything rubbish, he just says
I just edited it out, yeah.
He can
But-
make anybody sound good.
But it's such a beautiful. Like, is this National Trust owned Tredegar House?
Yeah.
It's Newport City Council,
Right.
and it's leased to the National Trust. They've
Right,
got
okay.
a 50-year lease on it.
And do you have to get permission to run here, or how does that work?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Right,
the,
okay.
The National Trust then take the responsibility for the grounds and things,
Right.
and we feed off them. If they say, for example, we had very bad weather, we would consult with them,
Yeah.
and they would give us the direction whether they think it's safe to go
Right, okay.
ahead, and then it's up to us as run directors then to make that final
To make the
call.
decision, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about things like if there's other events on here, do you have to cancel this one, or does it always run no matter what?
They're pretty
I think
pretty good.
In 200 events, I think we have had to cancel this one once.
Once, right,
But
okay.
basically, this is such a big park,
Yeah.
and we run the perimeter,
Yeah.
and we obviously run at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So if there's an event on for the weekend,
Yeah.
usually people are only just starting.
Yeah,
to
you're pretty
arrive
much
at
done
9
and
o'clock.
dusted, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And we've had vintage car rallies here. We've had camping events right in the middle of
I
it.
think just one of the best ones we had, where the vintage car rally, there's all manner of groups get involved with that, and where our start line was, we turned up on Saturday morning and we found a reenactment group that did the American Civil War, and right on the start line,
On the start line.
there was a camp, and there's a Confederate army soldier cooking bacon and eggs. And in a nice way, it was a great photo. We started the event and we ran through the Confederate army camp. It was lovely.
That is so
But
funny.
yes,
So
but
things
everybody-
happen,
absolutely,
yeah. So let's go. We were just talking there about when things go bad, and things don't go bad very often. And we had a situation where I don't know, we messed up the barcode scanners or something, so we had a bit of a drama. But what we learned from that was that, you know, it's park run, and it's for fun. It's a recreational run, and we had to explain to people this is okay, and it's never the volunteers' fault. It's never anybody's fault. And look, you know what? We'll do better next week, and that's it. Yeah, get a video camera. Whose video camera is it? Who pays for that?
It was 20. We didn't pay for it. It
Right.
was somebody. It's the cheapest video camera you could possibly
Right.
imagine. I think
Just to do
it
the
would
job.
have been 20 quid.
Right.
It has just enough of a memory stick to run for an hour.
Yeah.
And I think the camera tripod was mine. I've got to
Right.
say, but
You pick
in
one
other
up from
words,
somewhere.
you don't need to go out and buy
Yeah.
an incredible one.
It's a very good
it's
idea.
like a little webcam with a battery, basically.
And do you know what? I love the idea at the end. Do you know what I got to the end? And the guys are putting you have the sticks for the tokens, and people are putting the tokens in things, and the little buckets say 1 to 99, 100 to. And I was like, because you must spend hours afterwards sorting tokens. It's just like, oh, what a pain of a job.
Sorting 450 tokens.
And on a wet day when they stick together and all that jazz, yeah.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
it's,
That's a big help. That's a great idea.
I did.
Whose idea was that? Your idea, was it?
No, I think that would. Chris Davis probably went to Bushy Park
And saw that.
because they use a similar type of system there.
Yeah.
Because they, of course, have
thousands.
1,300
Yeah,
runners,
yeah.
and so
Yeah.
they've been doing that sort of thing
Yeah.
for years.
Those are the tips that you get when you get a bigger run.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is, these things we've learned as we go along.
Yeah.
When we
As it
started
evolves.
4.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I think our first event we had 83 runners.
Right.
And I think one of the funny things I find is that I can remember that first event we were talking about 83 runners, and we were talking about what would happen when it got to 150 runners, and then we rearranged the course and we were on 250. And I can remember a year ago sort of discussing what was it going to be like when we had 400. This morning I was discussing what happens when it goes through 500, which I would put money June. We'll go through 500 this summer, and then next summer I don't know, 600. The nice thing about this course is that we think it can take probably 600 runners. As long as everybody's well behaved and keeps to the left and overtakes on the right and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think
it could absorb that. No bother.
We got lots of space here.
And the system, of course, can absorb that, and many people no bother. Do you know? Because the system works for 50, works for 1500. That's the beauty of the whole thing.
Oh, the parkrun system is very, very well designed. I've just in Sligo. If you've been, did you say you've run it 8 times?
8 times, yeah.
Have you got
9
the
times.
stopwatch? Did you see our old beeper?
No.
Our time device doesn't have the time written on it.
Okay.
And here's a little one: is that I prefer our device because it doesn't have the time on it.
Okay.
Because if it does have the time on it, what can sometimes happen is you get people cross the line, come back and ask the timekeeper what time did they do. And I don't. You get distracted for a second.
Easy.
I mean, we get 4 people a second crossing the line here now.
Do you know what I was thinking when I came across the line? There were so many people. I was thinking it was almost. Do you ever go on a bus and there's a sign on the bus at the front and it says, "Do not cross this line. Do not talk to the bus driver."
Indeed.
Do you know? And it was like that. It was like you always need a sign up saying, "Do not talk to the timekeepers. Do not talk to the barcode scanners because they really have to concentrate on clicking the button every single time."
I got to say I was a bit surprised this morning, but when I came over to the finish funnel, that I'll tell you the reason for this. Are you doing pacing at the moment?
We're not. No, there's no pacing.
I just realised this is the reason for it.
I saw the big bunny rabbit doing the pacing for 33 minutes.
Indeed,
that was kind of cool. Good man, Brad.
He right. What happens each month, the first Saturday of the month, we have pacers out there for sort of each minute interval from 22 minutes to 36 minutes. What that means is that our runners come in clumps, whereas any other week they spread out evenly. The first of the month, they're all blocked around the runner, and so you'll get packs of runners coming in, and if they all hit the funnel at the same time, that's when our funnel gets congested. But what's happened is that the runners who are running with a pace runner will, as they go around the 25 or whatever minutes they're running, they don't know they're doing it, but they almost form a team. And they cooperate, and they don't know they're doing this. This is part of the sort of when they come across the finish line, they'll self-organise themselves with people they don't know apart from parkrun, and they'll all get nicely ordered, and nobody gets pushy.
There's no fuss.
Because absolutely, and they know they get through the funnel. Because
there's no drama.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of space between the finish line. There's a long space there, and then everybody's directed to the scanners, and you have the 4 scanning guys lined up. It's like going to the airport and Ryanair are there, and there's people coming through checking the boarding passes before you get to the gate, just to be that much more efficient.
One of the nice things we've got here is lots of open space, and so the big social thing actually is when people have finished, in between finishing and barcode scanning, basically they can do what they like.
I saw that. There was a lot of people hanging around chatting and stuff.
They're talking. Some people will walk back and join their slower runner friends, and they know now that they don't cross the line a second time. I'm afraid
that's a good one.
A
There's
little
a few of them. A bit of funnel ducking and whatever it's called.
No, this is because 80%. Each week with 400 runners, we probably get about 20 completely new park runners.
20%.
20 people.
20 people. Oh, right, okay.
20. So what's that? 5%.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So 400 runners, maybe 20 people who are completely new to parkrun, and maybe 10 or 20 who are parkrun tourists.
Yes.
That
like myself
know the drill.
today. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. So most people know the drill. Most people Newport Parkrun, have run Newport Parkrun before, and have probably run it several times.
Yeah.
And so it's the sort of sheep mentality, is that even if people are strangers, they will go along with the flow because everybody else knows what they're doing. And it is amazing. With 400, we had 487 last week. 2 weeks ago.
And it's fairly seamless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I found? I didn't hear a race briefing today, and apologies if I missed it, but I presume there was one, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah, okay.
I hate the race briefing.
Okay, so I was doing the race briefing last week in L1, and it was week 8. And I found myself kind of thinking that, God, everybody's heard this already. Do you know, am I really saying this stuff again?
You should have heard my briefing.
Do you know?
I usually end up sort of saying, hi there, it's me again, good morning, whatever. Nice day at Newport Parkrun. Oh, do I need to say this again? You know the stuff.
know the drill.
I often, I've on a couple of occasions said rules like keep small kids on the left, or dogs under 14, dogs under their parents, keep small kids on leads. And it just, because as you say, now the problem, the vast majority of people have heard it. So I've got to say, I personally don't see the point of repeating the same thing. Because if you repeat the same thing, people don't listen. And then if there's something important, like there's a tree down or a route or some hazard out on the course, they won't listen. So it's, for me, it's more important to tell them pertinent stuff. Today.
And what about the first timers race briefing? Is that ever something that?
Did you?
I was chatting. I was messing with these guys. I was paying more attention to.
We always do a first-time race briefing. So it's about 1:45.
And how do you get those people? How do you identify those people and move them to one side, or how does that work?
We have a megaphone,
right?
And I just call out anybody that's new to the Newport Parkrun or new to Parkrun. Follow me. And I think. Some people obviously aren't listening. This morning, I would have said I probably got 10 people at that little briefing. So it's sort of slightly successful, but I know when we do the results, there will probably be 20 people that have not done Newport Parkrun before, so the message didn't get to them. But it's as good as we can get. So if 10 people get the briefing, and then in that briefing I'll explain the course in sort of detail, where they run and whatever. But they'll find lots of people. God, that's fast. That's the thank you email. Wow. That's how good the system is.
Everybody's buzzing now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was coming down towards what I thought was the finish, and I was dying a little bit, and then I didn't realise there was another bit. And I was like, oh. Gotcha. No, but that happens with every. Exactly. But I don't wear a watch, so because I can't see, because there's no point in me without the glasses. I can't see anything. So it was just nice to know. But it was a great run. Look, thanks guys for your time. I really appreciate it. It was nice to meet you, and you've been very good to spend your time drinking your coffee whilst we're interviewing.
I was in Cork last week. And I was visiting an old school friend who now lives in Cork, whose daughter lives in Sligo.
Wow.
So I may end up over in Ireland again, and I'll make a point.
Well, if you're ever up in the Sligo way, we'll be up there. We've a nice one now. It's not as beautiful as the National Trust kind of lands and stuff, but we have a lovely park run, and it'd be great to see you. You'd be very, very welcome.
I would imagine the weather coming off the Atlantic can be
it's not so great. It's a little tricky sometimes, but it's all good. That's the whole fun of it, isn't it? So,
indeed.
But look, thanks a million. I'm gonna go now. And
okay.